Welcome to this special edition of Inside Look. As you can see, we're not on my set. We're actually inside Briggs Nursery here in North Attleboro, and I'm joined by Danielle Harbour. Welcome.
Thank you.
Now, something I think a lot of people are wondering, who are you? What do you do? Where did you come from?
Well, good question. I actually was born and raised in Michigan, and I've been living in the Attleboro's area for the past 22 years. My husband's from this area, so we ended up falling in love long distance, and after a year of that, I moved out here and I've been here for the past 22 years.
Now, being here has gotten you involved in things within the surrounding area, and how important is that to you?
So, well, it's funny because in my entire life I've been in corporate America and was just really praying for a change. You know, there comes a point in your life where I was an executive in corporate. There comes a point in your life where you just want to give back to the community and make a change, and for me that point was at 50.
Which you don't look 50, by the way.
Thank you. Well, now I'm 51 now. So I was just praying for the right thing to come into my path, and I stumbled across N2 Publishing, which really the core values are, you know, turning neighborhoods into communities and giving back to the community. And I said, I'm going to go for this and see where it takes me. So that's community is extremely important to me.
Well, let's talk about something interesting you shared with me, and I'd love to share with the community if that would be all right. But the video that you got that led you on the path to this.
Yes, so I was praying for God to put something in my path, because as I mentioned, I was Vice President of Digital Merchandising is what I had done in my previous role. I was with this company for 14 years and just wanting a change, because there comes a point where you're burning the candle at both ends and you want something different. So I was looking for a sign from God, and I received a video.
Hi, I'm Earl Seals.
My name is Dwayne Hickson. We're the co-founders of N2 Publishing. A buddy of ours created a video that we thought was pretty cool, so we decided to show it here because we really think that it encapsulates what we believe about N2 Publishing.
When you watch that video, you begin to realize what Dwayne and I believe, and that is that our job is to steward the resources God sends our way. You can see that when you read the Bible in Deuteronomy chapter 8, verse 17, it says, "Beware lest you say in your heart, my power and the might of my hand have gotten me this wealth. You shall remember the Lord your God, for it is He who gives you the power to get wealth."
Well, not everyone that works at N2 is a Christian. You don't have to be to work at N2. You know, this is something this is who we are. We're Christian guys, and so we just say, hey, look, let's just be who we are and let's be consistent. And so people can believe whatever they want to believe, but our organization, we want to make decisions based upon the principles we find in the Bible. For example, you're treating others the way you want to be treated. We think that's something that people universally think is a good thing. So, you know, we're not a Christian publishing company by any means. We're not making Bibles, you know, but we just want to make sure that people understand where we're coming from and the way we make our decisions.
So I think for me, one of the best parts of N2, for sure, has been watching God put it all together. The amount of stories that we've heard of people that they're on their knees, they're praying, saying, "God, can you give me some help? I just need help. I don't know what to do." And the next thing they know, they have an email or they see an ad about the N2 program. A friend gives them a call and they realize this is it. This is what I should be doing. It's an awesome experience to watch God really put this together, both for them and really for N2 as a whole.
Well, thanks for taking the time to watch this video today. We hope it gives you a better understanding of the principles that we use to help make decisions with N2.
An email from N2 Publishing, which is the company I work for now, and in the body of the email there were around probably about 200 signs from God. So something that I've never done before, but I said, you know, I'm going to go for this because if it's, you know, truly where my path is and what I was created to do, it's going to be successful. So that's what happened, and I went for it, and this was about a year and a half ago.
Wow. And now you talk about N2 Publishing. What is that?
So N2 Publishing, we do a social publication. It's actually, by definition, it's a neighborhood newsletter for affluent communities all around the country. We have about 1,000 publications in print. The company's been around since 2004, and the tagline really is turning neighborhoods into communities. I mean, we're past the days where people would sit on their front porch and, you know, talk and shoot the breeze for hours, and now kind of people drive through the neighborhood. They might wave to their neighbor, they might know their name, but they kind of tuck in the garage. You know, everyone's friendly but not overly friendly perhaps, and this is a way to get people talking again, put your cell phones down and actually have conversations and meet people in your neighborhood.
And that's something that N2 Publishing strictly does, correct?
Yep, we have, we call it an HOA publication, even though we don't have an HOA for the one that I work on here in the Cliffs. But there's a lot of times, you know, N2 Publishing came about for two reasons. One is a lot of times the HOAs had trouble communicating to the neighborhoods that they were trying to communicate to, because, you know, people in affluent communities, they lead really busy lives. They don't have time to sit through board meetings, etc. So this was, in a lot of communities across the nation, we've taken over that HOA publication and done the neighborhood newsletter. And then the other reason was, you know, just to get local businesses, local merchants that want to be in front of these communities, in front of them by way of advertising, and then connect them through various social events. So that's really how N2 Publishing came about.
Now, I think something interesting that we talked about when we met before doing the show was that, you know, a lot of people will get mail and just discard it.
Correct.
This is something people don't discard.
Correct. We hear things from the neighborhood like, you know, the kids can't wait to get it every month. They want to see who the pet of the month is, who the family of the month is, who did the recipe. We'll have a Making a Difference section. There's, you know, all of the content actually comes from the neighborhood itself.
Wow.
So we know that it's getting read every month, which is awesome. Whereas if you were a local merchant or a local company trying to reach this community and you did maybe a postcard or direct mail, people often stand over the recycle bin and just, you know, toss it in. So we always say it's not how many eyes see it, it's whose eyes see it. And no, they definitely don't throw it away. They're reading it from cover to cover.
Well, I know, for instance, Mark Williamson, who's the president of our board, saves all his. So clearly,
yes,
it's a great product. And now, does somebody come to you to get this started? How does it get started? Or do you approach the community?
Well, this was actually started, our company had the Cliffs as one of the A neighborhoods.
Okay.
And so when I took on the role, I had a couple of different options, and I chose the Cliffs. But in terms of gathering the content from the neighborhood, is that what your question is?
Kind of, yes.
Yeah, so I've met so many great people throughout the course of this. So we've had 12 issues out so far. It launched last November.
Wow.
So this one that's landing this month is the 12th issue.
That's
So
amazing.
I know, it's been awesome. We actually started at 32 pages with this one right here. This was our first issue. Some people might recognize TJ Rizzo.
TJ, the music
music
guy.
director.
That's what I call him.
And Sarah and their gorgeous family. They were our first family. We started at 32 pages, and we're up to like this one's 48 pages. This is the one that's delivering it home this month. So the content really comes from the residents. We ask in the publication for the content. I now have a content manager that actually lives in the neighborhood, and she was on this cover here, May, so Lauren Gannon. And sometimes we'll walk the neighborhood, talk to people that are walking their dogs, and we'll get different ideas, for pet of the month or yard of the month. And but people do reach out to us, and so it's.
Well, that's what I was going to say. How much easier is your job with that community being so involved?
It's great. I mean, because of the social events, we meet a ton of different people at the events. Like, for instance, we had a social event this past August in the Cliffs. And what's funny is the Rizzo family said, this is right up my alley. I've been wanting to do an event. I've been wanting to do a block party since we moved in here. Maybe now's the chance. Well, we actually pulled it off this August. And we had over 200 people come out to the block party. So there's like
look at that. Yeah.
We had some of our merchants there, like School of Rock, doing a little demo. We had some organic juice testing. Our interior designer was there, and Circle of Friends Montessori School did face painting. And then we had some of our sponsors that just contributed. We kind of highlighted them here, but we had over 200 people come out, which was amazing. And we get great story ideas from people at these events. So we had some. We grilled, and then we had a little bit of a potluck. So we were reaching out, hey, send us the recipes for your potluck, because people loved it. And Myra Schwartz's Noodle Kugel is going into the next
what
edition.
Is that?
Myra Schwartz, she lives in the Cliffs, and she provided her Noodle Kugel recipe.
What's Noodle Kugel?
It's actually a Jewish dish, I guess, and it's like a sweet dessert that they serve a lot at the holidays with noodles. Well, you can read about it.
It's a dessert.
It's a dessert made out of egg noodles, and there's some. Well, I have the recipe, but I don't know it exactly.
Well, you can't.
I can't divulge it.
Right.
You have to wait until the November edition, just in time for Thanksgiving.
Now, looking at these,
yes,
a lot of work goes into this.
Yes.
Can you walk me through how you do something like this for every month?
Well, it's actually on our end. So the company puts out 1,000 publications every single month, because we have them all across the U.S. And we upload the content into the portal. So part of my role is actually going out and finding local businesses that want to be in front of these residents. Some people want to be, right in the front, the first thing you see when you open up the publication. And like, for instance, Feast and Fettle, they're a premium meal delivery service. They're hitting their target audience in a more affluent community versus, you just warm it up. There's no chef prepared, delivered to your door, no cooking involved. So, part of my role is to find out. I actually meet with every single merchant that's in here, and
really?
It's more of a selection process. We don't just let anybody.
But I mean,
I've
looked through these, and you meet with all of these?
Yep, I've met with everybody. So we have some, big businesses. This is our index of sponsors. We have some big, Sturdy Memorial Hospital in here, Patriot Subaru, the branches of North Attleboro. And then we also have some smaller businesses like hypnotherapy, box seats, some of the smaller restaurants. And this is, every month there's a note from me, the publisher. I always highlight the newest businesses that are going in here. And then these are some of our events. So I mentioned we also do social events. So Stella Osteria, we had a great event out there on September 29th. We had some of the business sponsors that are advertising with us come out, as well as some of the residents, and everyone just talks. It's all about community. It's all about sharing ideas, and people want to do business with people they know and trust.
Oh, 100%.
So we had our builder there, CJ Builders, Chris DeForest, and several people came up to him because they wanted to remodel parts of their house. And when you meet a builder in person, it's much different than making a phone call. So that was really cool. We also had our dog trainer there, Chris Maynard, dog training. He'll come to your house and train your dog. He's like the dog wizard. So it's just really cool to be able to connect with people. Our event last Friday, we had a paint and sip event hosted by Wealth Impact Partners, who's on our back cover.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, they do financial planning and estate planning. And I feel bad if I don't call out every single one of our business partners, but they're all great in here. And what's happened was we've actually grown. The team and contributors have grown. So Lauren is our content manager, like I mentioned. My daughter Alexandra did all the pictures, but she's now, she's just moved, and Sarah Rizzo, it's come full circle, Sarah Rizzo Photography is now the photographer for the cliffs.
Me that,
Yep, and then we have Angie manages all the ads.
Okay.
And then we have 2 junior writers now that write for us. So they provide a story a month. They meet with their neighbors and interview them about their dog or their home or the travel tales. So all of this information is uploaded through the portal, and the company actually puts it together, and then they send a design to us. So
and then you approve the design.
we approve the design. We can make tweaks to the little things. This is, we usually have a pet of the month. So this is Bolt. Bolt, this is written in the first person. Bolt wrote it. He reads, he writes. And this is Maynard Dog Training Solutions that I mentioned to you earlier. So there's always a
So that's nice how you pair that with the pet.
Yeah, they're actually sponsoring this page, and most of our partners work with us long term. They always want to stay in front of the residents because we know out of sight, out of mind, right? So they'll always be with the precious pets section. And to your point, people hang on to these publications, and things like the Patriot Schedule kind of helps them hang on to it. We have a young entrepreneur section if you live in the neighborhood and you want to offer your services for babysitting or dog walking or weeding, landscaping. Some of the teenagers will submit their information, which is cool because the teenagers are reading it. I just got an email from one yesterday that wanted to be added to the section.
That's
so
fantastic.
that anytime you can engage a teenager, right? So, and then I know that some of them have gotten calls, and so it's been great. We'll have an Ask the Expert section for all of our business partners that they can ask a commonly asked question of them and really highlight their business. We're going to be highlighting our veterans, honoring them in the November edition. Yeah. For our sponsors, we'll do like an article on them. So our sponsors like
they're
Powers,
based out of Plainville.
They actually live in the Cliffs.
Okay.
And they're sponsoring the publication. So Powers Energy Corporation, Lisa and Patrick Powers, awesome family, great story on how they got started. So it just is, it reaches the neighbors on a more intimate and personal level instead of just advertising at them.
Because you don't know what your neighbors around you do.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And we'll usually have a travel tales. This family had gone to Croatia, which is amazing.
Croatia, wow.
Which is now on my bucket list. We keep the North Attleboro school schedule in here. It's really convenient for them.
That's a great
idea. A resource. And then here's, the family that's on the cover. So this could be your next door neighbor, a couple doors down, and now you know what they like to eat, what their family dinners are, their traditions.
They actually say things like that.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Their favorite activities, and you really just get to know them on a more personal level.
Look at that.
What was cool about the family that we have coming out right here is they said they're huge Michigan State fans. Well, who do you think went to Michigan State?
You did.
I was like, how are you guys fans? Well, Jen's father-in-law had gone to Michigan State, so they're fans. So it's amazing how much we actually have in common when you sit down to talk to people.
Isn't that weird how you find that stuff out?
Yep. So we also do business-to-business luncheons. I don't know if I mentioned, but we have 15 publications in the area. So we'll get our business partners together. Here's a map of some of our publications. So we're in like Lincoln, Lime Rock area, Barrington, Duxbury, Cohasset, Wellesley, Watch Hill. So we're in a lot of the more affluent communities. And then we'll just invite our business partners out to lunch, and they can network with each other.
Oh,
and we'll buy them
awesome
lunch.
idea.
So the publishers in the area will get together and buy them lunch. Forecourt Racket and Fitness Club. Melanie Atwood lives in the Cliffs, and she goes here all the time and wrote
Really?
a nice review on them, so it kind of highlights their business. And I like to do a ton of extras for our business partners, so I actually framed this article for them and delivered it. So Dave Morin's the owner over there, is pretty excited about that. If you live in the neighborhood and own a business, we'll give you a listing here.
Oh, that's a
at no
great
charge.
idea.
So we end up having a lot of business owners in our neighborhoods. We always have a kids to kids section. Kids love being in here because, you know, when your name was in the paper when you were a kid, you
Oh,
were
yeah.
super excited. And now,
Now when
having
your
a whole
name's in the
article,
paper as an adult, you're just like, ugh.
it's probably bad news. No.
Yeah.
Yvonne Thompson owns Thompson Property. She's part of Keller Williams, and her claim to fame was the Hernandez house. So we have a sponsor spotlight
Oh, okay.
article in here. Yep. Here we had another Ask the Expert from School of Rock. You've probably seen these blue signs everywhere. So the CEO of Rent Sons, they do odd jobs, you know, for an affordable hourly rate. Well, they had the same concept as N2 Publishing, which is it should be all about community and helping each other out. So you could rent a son or daughter, something that your kids should be doing for
Right.
free, but to do odd jobs around your house for a reasonable
cute.
hourly
That's
rate.
a great idea.
Isn't that cute? And then there's the block party I already shared with you. So.
And the amount of people, like even the police and the, I mean, I know
we
you
had
need,
Touch a Truck.
Yeah, that's great.
We had the ice cream truck come as well. If you were going to touch a truck, that would probably be the one to touch. But we had a fire station and the police cars come. So it was just an awesome event. Like everyone had a great time. Like I mentioned, we usually have a recipe of the month. We'll put local events in here. Barbara O'Hara lives in the Cliffs and owns North Star Real Estate. And
Okay.
she's always on the real estate resource page, and it's another reason why people hang on to it because it shows the home value month after month.
Oh, that's a good idea.
And the downtown North Attleboro businesses, there's 10 of them that are all sharing a page because it's an important neighborhood in North Attleboro.
That's fantastic. Now,
So to put all this together, it's uploaded in the portal and then we get a design back. That was a long way to answer your short
no,
question.
I enjoyed it because it explains exactly what I wanted to hear. But for you, I mean, you know, talking about the video you saw and getting into N2 Publishing, how great has it been to connect to all these people?
It's so rewarding. For instance, the Stella Osteria event. So we had like Mark Perryman from Patriot Subaru came out. Paula co-owns the restaurant along with two other co-owners. They got to talking and she's like, well, I need some help with service on my car. He's like, bring it in to see me. I already mentioned the builder, made some connections with people. The hypnotherapist was there. We had a personal trainer there. So just to see the businesses networking and talking and so much in common, and then, the residents, you could live 2 doors down from somebody and not know who they are, and you meet them, and it's just exciting. So it's been really rewarding and fulfilling for me. I think I was a born matchmaker to try and connect people, so for me, it's been phenomenal.
I was going to say, how many friends have you made from this?
I have about 100 more Facebook friends than I had versus last year, which is
That's
awesome.
one way to judge how you have friends.
It's all about Facebook. And this is kind of like a printed version of Facebook, right? Because they put the content up there, and they provide the content here, and people read it. So, yeah, I do have about 100 more Facebook friends, which is awesome.
It's Facebook official.
Yeah.
Now, is there anything we haven't said or haven't talked about how great this is and what you do that we should touch upon? Like, how can people, if I'm a business watching this right now and I want to advertise in this, how can I do that?
Well, like I mentioned, I meet with everybody face to face first. So if they want to reach out to me, I don't know if you're going to publish my info at the end, but it's Danielle.Harbor, O-U-R, at n2pub.com. Reach out to me and just set up a quick meeting. I'll ask a lot of questions because, we want to make sure that the guy in the pickup truck with rust on the side and like a donut wheel isn't pulling up. I mean, we take a ton of pride of who we introduce to the residents. And as passionate as you saw me go through and talk about all of our sponsors in here, I'm that passionate when I meet with a resident. I meet with
Well, I was going to say, if it's
Yeah.
in an affluent community, you want
right.
who you're sending there.
Right,
to
and it's
be-
a bad reflection on me if we put someone in there that's not returning phone calls or takes half of your deposit and doesn't come back, and it's happened, not to me, but I have turned people down that have wanted
Really?
to advertise with us, so they just weren't the right fit. But so we meet with everyone face to face first, so if a business wants to get in front of this community, then they can just reach out to me and I'll set up a meeting with them and tell them exactly a little bit more detail of what we do, learn about what they do, and see if it might be a good fit.
That's fantastic. I think you really love your job,
I think
don't
I
you?
Yes, it's much better than corporate.
Much better than corporate. Are you, because in a sense you're your own boss.
Yep. In a sense, I'm my own boss, which is great. And I'll expand in the future, but right now I'm really happy with where I am. I haven't met every one of the families yet, so some people are a little shy. They don't want to be in the cover. Some people are just waiting to be asked. Some people are like, when is it going to be my turn? So
how many more do you have to go?
We have about 400 and
Oh, okay. So you'll be there a while.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll
yeah.
be there a while.
So it's only been a year and a half.
We've
so.
direct mailed this every month to 500 homes, and
Yeah.
then there's about 60 business partners in there.
Okay. Yeah. So you've got
We
a
have-
ways to
we
go.
have 10, yeah.
You'll be there about 10 years.
Yeah.
Is there anything we haven't talked about you'd like to add? Whether it be about yourself, your business, about the Cliffs magazine, or Cliffs Living?
I just think that we all benefit when we foster community, and if you've been thinking about wanting to be a part of a community and you own a small business, definitely reach out. It's been so rewarding for me. I get great reviews from both the business partners and the residents that they love it in reading it cover to cover, and we just all benefit by having conversations with people. There's so much that's done on our phones and texts and email and Facebook without actually having those face-to-face conversations. And this is a way to kind of like, when you used to talk over the fence and pass lemonade to each other and have a conversation. And it's just more rewarding to go through life with people than it is to do, behind a screen or something. So I guess that's really all I'd have to add. If you own a business and want to be in front of this community, then reach out to me. If you live in the community and want to provide some content, then reach out to me.
Well, what you do is phenomenal, and I know people love this. I've heard from businesses and people within the community how great this is.
Thank you.
So the calling you got in that email was the perfect one for you.
Thank
It
you, I
really
appreciate
was.
that.
And thank you so much for being here, and I hope people will reach out to you, and it can be like 100 pages pretty soon, right?
That would be great.
And we thank you for watching this edition of Inside Look. We look forward to seeing you next time.